Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss a language policy in education, Unit 6 from the Contemporary India. Disclaimer: the video content has been made available for informational and educational purpose only. Let's start with the introduction. Unit 6, the language policy in education. India is a country where many languages are spoken, more than 3,000 dialects are spoken and are in practical use in India. All parts of India, spreading from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, have certain common cultural elements at various points of time. Different languages served as a link language. Sanskrit was a link language and the medium of instruction in India starting from the Vedic period to 3rd century AD. From the travelogue of Chinese travelers Fa Xian and Zhuang Zhang, who come to know that during the Jain and Buddhist period, Pali language was served as a link language and the medium of instruction. Under the Muslim rules from the 9th to 15th century, the various languages such as Arabic, Persian, and Urdu languages served as the link language and medium of instruction. With the mingling of languages such as Urdu, Persian, etc., with Sanskrit language like Bengali, Hindi, Grantham, and Gujarati, etc., emerged and were in vogue among the people of respective regions. Students learn their respective mother tongue. In this unit, language policy in India before and after independence, official language policy as mentioned in the Indian constitution, thoughts of three great Indian thinkers, Rabindranath Tagore, Gandhiji, Swami Vivekananda, and the medium of instruction are to be discussed in detail. Let's start with a language policy during the pre independent period in India. After the British came in the 15th century, there was a huge impact on education too, like politics and other fields. Though the regional languages were in the use as a spoken languages and also the medium of instruction in street schools, no formal educational system was in vogue till 1835. The English schools were established by the East Indian Company to provide education for the children of the British officers following Macaulay's downward filtration theory. In 1853, the British Parliament directed the East Indian Company to take the responsibility of providing education to Indians and appointed a committee under the chairmanship of Charles Woods to survey the educational needs in India. Mr. Wood submitted his report in 1854 to Lord Dalhousie, then the Governor General of India. It was recommended in the report that at the primary school level, vernacular languages could be allowed. However, in schools under the administration of the East Indian Company, the English should continue to be the medium of the instruction. The Governor General, Lord Dalhousie, made necessary arrangements to implement those recommendations. In 1882, William Hunter Committee, appointed by the Viceroy of India, Lord Ripon, recommended that the medium of instruction at the primary education level may be vernacular languages or English. The students should be allowed to get education through their respective mother tongue. Their position had continued till India got independence. Rajaram Mohan Roy was in the support of the education through English. Indian national leaders like Swami Vivekananda, Rabindranath Tagore, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Monachand Karamchand Gandhi, Arvind Ghosh, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, Gopalakrishna Gokhale, etc., got their education through English as a medium of instructions. The efforts taken to resolve the language issue in the post-independent India, the language problem in education. When India got independence, English was the official language. After independence, people of each state expressed their view that their own regional language should be the state language and be the administrative language as well as the language of educational instructions. Due to these, the language problem became explosive and brought tension among different sections of the people. The language problem in India pertains to the difficulty in taking decisions with respect to the following issues. Which language should be the medium of instruction at various levels? A school, colleges, and universities of education? Is it the mother tongue or regional language? What should be the link language? Is it Hindi? If so, what the place of English? How many languages should we teach to our children at what stage? And what is the portion of the classical language such as Sanskrit and Arabic? So, which first one is the which language should be the medium of instruction, various level of education? Is it the mother tongue or the regional language? What should be the link language? Is it Hindi or what is the place of the English? How many language should we teach to our children at what stage? And what is the portion of the classical language such as Sanskrit and Arabic? So the changes that took place in the language policy in the post independent period. The mother tongue or the regional languages has gained acceptance as a medium of instructions at the school. Immediately after our independence, basic education was adopted as a national policy of education of the Indian government, according to which the primary education should be provided only through the mother tongue of the child. Right to learn through one mother tongue was incorporated in the fundamental rights of the Indian constitutions. Hindi with the Devangiri script was made the official language of the Indian Union. Though the English was also allowed to continue as the associate official language alongside for the period of 15 years, after which English is to be the withdrawn in phases of facilities Hindi is to take its right place as the sole official language. Accordingly, on 26 January 1965, Hindi was declared as the sole official language of the Indian Union, upon which anti-Hindi agitations took place in different parts of the country. In Tamil Nadu, the agitation was intensive and widespread, resulting in the loss of life among the students' community. Following the violent turn of events, Nehruji, then the Prime Minister, gave an assurance in the Indian Parliament that English will continue as the associate official language along with the Hindi, the official language so long as the people is a non-Hindi speaking states want it. For the promotion and propagation of Hindi, various national language development programs were undertaken by the Central Ministry of Education, of which the following are the important ones. The liberal financial grants for the voluntary services organization working for the promotion of Hindi language. Establishment and the maintenance of specialized institutions like the Dakshina Bharat Hindi Prachara Sabha to undertake the research and training programs for producing Hindi teachers. The grant of social scholarship for those students in non-Hindi speaking areas who opt for the study of Hindi. Post-matric Hindi scholarship for non-Hindi speaking areas. Efforts were taken to publish a Hindi encyclopedia with 10 volumes. Central Hindi Directorate was started for the promotion of Hindi. So, for the promotion and the propagation of the Hindi, various national language development programs were undertaken by the Central Ministry of Education, of which the following are the important ones. The liberal financial grants for the voluntary services, organization working for the promotion of Hindi language, establishment and the maintenance of the specialized institution like Dakshina Bharat Hindi Prachara Sabha to undertake research and training programs for the producing the Hindi teachers, the grant of scholarship for those students who in non-Hindi speaking areas who opt for the study in Hindi, a post-matric Hindi scholarship for the non-Hindi speaking areas. Efforts were taken to publish a Hindi encyclopedia with 10 volumes. A Central Hindi Directorate was started for the promotion of Hindi. Next, we are moving to recommendation. Recommendation of Secondary Education Commission. Secondary Education Commission, appointed in 1952 under the chairmanship of Dr. A. Lakshmana Swamy Mudaliar, in its report published in 1952, recommended the following with regard to the language problems. The mother tongue or the regional language should generally be the medium of instruction throughout the secondary education stage, subject to the provision that for the linguistic minority special facilities should be made available. During the middle school stage, every child should be taught at least two languages. At the junior secondary stage, Hindi and English should be introduced, subject to the principle of that no two languages should be introduced in the same year. At the higher and higher secondary stages, everyone is required to learn at least two languages in all, of which one should be the mother tongue and or the regional language of the child. That is, the language to be studied at the secondary stage should include the mother tongue or the regional language. One or more languages should be chosen from among the following: the Hindi, elementary English, and advanced English, modern Indian language, and classical language. Hindi for those whose mother tongue is not Hindi, elementary English for those who have not learned English in the earlier stage, advanced English for those who have studied English in the earlier stage, modern Indian language other than Hindi, and a classical language. A three language formula. Three language formula. The Central Advisory Board of Education in 1956 examined the complex problems of the teaching of the language in relation to the needs of the country and the requirement of the constitution. It devised a formula known as three language formula. It was accepted by the Conference of the Chief Ministers held in 1961 and approved by the National Integration Council. The formula established a party in the study of the language living in the Hindi and the non-Hindi areas by recommending that as against a third language, people in the non-Hindi areas have to learn Hindi. Another Indian language other than Hindi should be studied by the peoples in the Hindi-speaking areas. According to the three-language formula, every secondary school student has to study the following three languages: mother tongue, that is a regional language; English or a modern European language; Hindi for the non-Hindi areas, and another modern Indian language excluding Hindi for the Hindi speaking areas. In simple terms, every child in the Hindi speaking area must study three languages: Hindi, one of the South Indian language, and the English, and those in the non Hindi speaking areas must study the mother tongue, English, and Hindi. In simple terms, every child in the Hindi speaking area must study three languages: Hindi, one of the South Indian language, and the English. And those in the non Hindi speaking areas must study mother tongue, English, and Hindi. Difficulties in implementing the three language problem. The school curriculum has become heavy due to the increase in the language load, dislike of the students in the Hindi speaking areas to the study another Indian language, resistance to the study of in Hindi in some non Hindi speaking areas like especially Tamil Nadu, heavy cost and efforts involved in providing for the teaching of the second and the third language for the 5 to 6 years from class 5 to class 6 to class 12. Defective planning and ineffective implementation of the three language formula, and lack of facilities for the study of the third language. Difficulties in implementing three language formula. So school curriculum has become heavy due to the increase in the language or dislike of the students in the Hindi speaking areas to study another Indian language, resistant to the study of the Hindi in some non speaking areas, especially Tamil Nadu. Heavy cost and efforts involved in providing for the teaching of the second and third language for the 5 to 6 years. Defective planning and ineffective implementation of the three language formula. Lack of facility for the study of the third language. Kothari Education Commission 1964 to 1966. Kothari Commission 1964 to 66 did not endorse the three language formula fully. It advocated some changes. It and evolved a new modified three language formula which required every student to study the mother tongue or the regional language, Hindi, the official language of the union, or the English, the associate official language so long as it exists, a modern in India, or the foreign language not covered under 1 and 2 above, other than that used as a medium of instructions. So the Kothari Commission did not endorse the three language formula fully. So it advocated some changes in it and evolved a new modified three language formula which required every student to study the mother tongue or the regional language. Second one is the Hindi, the official language of the union, or the English, the associate official language so long as it exists. The third one is the modern India, the foreign language not covered under 1 and 2 above, other than that used as a medium of instruction. So next, we are moving to the basis of the modified three language formula. The modified three language formula has been evolved on the basis of the following guideline principles. Hindi being the official language of the Indian Union enjoys importance next not only to the mother tongue, and the English being the medium of education at the university stage, the language of the administration at the center in many of the states will be valuable assets for all the students. A short period under the favorable conditions might achieve better result than the longer period of learning without the proper facilities. A suitable stage of making the learning of the three language compulsory is the lower second stage. It is left to the discretion of each stage regarding the stage at which Hindi or the English should be introduced on the compulsory basis and the period for which it should be taught, and at no stage should learning of four languages be made compulsory. At no stage should learning of four languages be made compulsory. So the recommended ways to implement the three language formula: mother tongue of the regional language, mother tongue of the regional language, official or the associate official language of the union. In addition, facilities should be provided to the study of the third language on an optional basis. Study of the third language should be the obligatory. Only two languages need to be made compulsory, and students should have the option to select any two of the three languages studied earlier, or the combination of the any two languages taken from the following groups: modern India language, modern foreign language, and classical language Indian and foreign. Next, we are moving to the two language formula followed in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, the three language formula is not favored. Instead, the Tamil and English are the two languages that have been taught in schools to all students compulsorily. Tamil is the official language of the state and it is extensively used in all government offices and educational institutions. English is used as the link language for the communicating with the central and the other state governments. Facilities have been created to teach Tamil for the pre-primary to university stage of education. Similarly, English is taught for the elementary to the higher education level. Next, we are moving to the reason for non-acceptance of the three language formula in Tamil Nadu, giving the prominence to the North Indian languages Hindi over the classical language of the Tamil is unacceptable. The compulsory imposition of the Hindi was considered as making the Tamil people as the second-class citizens. It is unfair to make Tamil Nadu students to learn Hindi along with their mother tongue and English, while North Indian students get the privilege of learning only one language, that is learning through Hindi. The attempt will increase the educational burden of the Tamil Nadu school students, since the English language serves well at present as the linking language to communicate between the state and center. There is no need for switching over to Hindi. Moreover, English serves as the international link language. Let's repeat the revisions for the non-acceptance of the three-language formula in Tamil Nadu. The given prominence to the North Indian language Hindi over the classical language of the Tamil is unacceptable. The compulsory imposition of Hindi was considered as making the Tamil people as second-class citizens. It is unfair to make the Tamil Nadu students to learn Hindi along with their mother tongue and English, while the North Indian students get the privilege of learning only one language, that is learning through Hindi. This attempt will increase the educational burden of the Tamil Nadu school students. Since the English language serves well at present as a linking language to communication between the state and the center, there is no need for switching over to Hindi. Moreover, English serves as the international link language. Let's move on to language policy as mentioned in the Indian Constitution. Article 343 to 350 of the Indian Constitution clarify the language policy of our country. A brief summary of them is presented below. Article 343, the official language of the Indian Union, Class 1. The official language of the Union shall be the Hindi in Devanagari script. The form of numerals to be used for the official purpose of the Union shall be the international form of Indian numerals. Class 2, notwithstanding anything in Class 1 for the period of 15 years from the commencement of this Constitution, the English language shall continue to be used for all the official purposes of the Union for which it was being used immediately before such commencements, provided that the presidents may, during the said period, by order, authorize the use of the Hindi language in addition to the English language and the Devanagari forms of numerals, in addition to the international form of Indian numerals for any of the official purpose of the Union. The class is notwithstanding anything in this article, Parliament may, by law, provide for the use after the said period of 15 years the English language or the Devanagari form of numerals for such purposes may be specified in the law. Article 344. The Commission and the Committee of Parliament on the Official Language, the President shall, at the expiration of the 5 years from the commencement of the Constitution, and thereafter at the expiration of the 10 years from such commencement, by order constitute a commission which shall consist of a chairperson and such other members representing the different languages specified in the 8th schedule as president may appoint. And the order shall define the procedure to be followed by the Commission. Class 2 and 3, it shall be the duty of the Commission to make recommendations to the President as to the progress use of the Hindi language for the official purpose of the Union, restriction of the use of the English language for all and any of the official purpose of the Union, the language to be used for all and any of the purpose mentioned in Article 348, the form of the numerals to be used for any or more specified purpose of the Union, any other matters referred to the Commission by the President with regard to the official language of the Union, the language for the communication between the Union and the state or the between one state and another in the use. The Class 4, in making the recommendation under the Class 2, the Commission shall have the due regard to the industrial, cultural, and scientific advancement of India and the just claims interest of the person belonging to the non-Hindi speaking areas in regard to the public services. Class 5, there shall be considered a committee consisting of 30 members, of whom 20 shall be members of the Lok Sabha, and the 10 shall be the members of the Rajya Sabha, elected respectively by the members of the Lok Sabha and the members of the Rajya Sabha in accordance with the systems of the proportional representation by means of the single transferable vote. Class 6, it shall be the duty to the committee to examine the recommendation of the Commission considered under the Class 1 and to be reported to the President their opinion thereupon. Notwithstanding anything in the Article 340, the President may, after the consideration of the report, refer to the Class 5, issue the direction in accordance with the whole or any part of that report. Article 345, official language of the state, subject to the provision of the Article 346 and 347. The legislature of the state may be by the law adopt any one of the mother language in which state or the Hindi as the language or languages to be used for all or any of the official purposes of the state, provided that the union until the legislature of the state otherwise provided by the law, English language shall continue to be for those official purpose within the state for which it was being used immediately before the commencement of this constitution. Article 346, official language for the communication between one state and another or between a state and the union. The language for the time being unauthorized for being authorized being authorized for the use in the opinion for the official purposes shall be the official language for the communication between one state and another state, between the state and the union. Provision that is for two or most states agree that the Hindi language should be the official language for communication between such state, that language may be used for such communication. Article 347, the special provision relating to the language spoken by the section of the population of the state. On a demand being made in that behalf, the President may, if he is satisfied that a substantial proportion of the population of the state desire the use of the any language spoken by them to the recognized by the state, direct that such language shall also be the official recognized throughout the state or any part thereof for such purposes as he may specify. Article 348, language to be used in Supreme Court and in the High Court or for the acts of the bill. A class 1 notwithstanding anything in the following provision of this part until the Parliament by the law otherwise provides. All proceedings in the Supreme Court and the every High Court. The authoritative text. In class 2, notwithstanding anything in the subclass of the governor of the state may, which is the privilege of the concern of the president, authorize the use of Hindi language or any other language used for any official purpose in proceeding the High Court having its principal seat in the state, but nothing in the class shall apply to the any judgment, agree, or order passed or made by the High Court, notwithstanding anything in the subclass where the register of the state has prescribed any language other than the English language of the use in the bills introduced in and act passed by the legislature of the state, the ordinance promulgated by the governor of the state and any order, rules, regulations, bylaw, translation of the same, the English language published in under the authority of the governor of the state in the official gazette of the state that should be deemed to be the authorized text thereof in the English language under this article. Article 349, as special procedures of the enactment of the certain laws of relating to the language during the period of 15 years from the commencement of the constitution, no bills or amendments making provisions of the language for the language to be used by any other person mentioned in the class 1 of the article 348 shall be introduced or moved in either house of the parliament without the previous sanction of the president. The president shall not give his sanction to the introduction of any such bills or moving of any such amendment except after he has taken to the consideration or recommendation of the commission of the class 1 of the article 334, 344 report of the committee considered under article 4 of the article 350, the languages to be used in the representation of the readers or grievance. Every person shall be entitled to submit a presentation of the readers or any grievance to any officer authority of the union or state in any of the language used in the union or in the state, or the case may be. 350A, facilities for the instruction of mother tongue as the primary stage. It shall be endeavor of every state and of the every local authority within the state to provide adequate facilities for the instruction of mother tongue at the primary stage of the education to children belong to the linguistic minority groups, and the president may issue such direction to any state as he considers necessary or proper for securing the provision of such facilities. Article 350B is a special officer for linguistic minority. There shall be a special officer for the linguistic minority to be appointed by the president. Class which shall be the duty of the special officer to investigate all the matters relating to the safeguard provided for the linguistic minority under this constitution. Report to the president upon those matters as such intervals as the president may direct. The president shall cause all such reports shall be laid before each case house of the parliament and sent to the governments of the state concerned. Article 351, directive for the development of the Hindi language. It shall be the duty of the Union to promote the spread of the Hindi language, no, to develop it so that it may serve as a medium of expression for all the elements of the composite culture of India and to secure its enrichment by assimilating without interfering with its genius, the forms, styles, and expression used in Hindustani and in other languages of the India specified in the 8th schedule, and by drawing wherever necessary and desirable for its vocabulary, primarily on Sanskrit and secondly on the other languages. Putting in brief, the Indian Constitution has analyzed the language policy in detail and has considered more than 8 articles, of which articles 343, 345, 348, and 50 are very important. The problem of linked languages, lack of linked languages, has been one of the chief disintegrating factors in India. A common language would help to foster common culture and common ideals and goals, common faith and aspirations. The problem of national language has been worrying the national leaders from the inception of the national movement, and they have considered the claims of different language for the purpose of the proclaimed Hindi as a prospective and public national linked language. Article 343 says the official language of the Union shall be the Hindi in Devanagari script. Article 343 further says that for the period of 15 years for the commencement of these constitutions, English shall continue to be the use for the official purpose of the Union, which it was being used before such commencement. Despite these articles in the Indian Constitution, the battle of language is still continuing in one form or other. As for the Article 343 of the Indian Constitution, January 26, 1965, 15 years after the commencement of the constitutions, India was declared as a sole Hindi was declared as the sole official language of the Indian Union. January 26, 1965. Even in following which there were violent agitations in South India, especially Tamil Nadu, to stop the popular upsurge and restore peace. A written assurance was given the Indian Parliament to permit the continuance of the English as the associate official language till all the southern states accept the special status of the Hindi as the sole official language. Protagonists of Hindi should understand that Hindi cannot gain its the status of the link language by the force or the strict imposition. It has been accepted by all people out of the clear understanding, voluntary choice. Antagonism to English does not pave the way for the expansion of the Hindi. Attempts to popularize Hindi in the non-Hindi speaking areas should be made elaborately and extensively before it can be used for the extremely responsible purpose, such as the means in the interstate communication, medium of inter-university transactions as all India official. Multilingualism is not a social evil if there is a proper understanding and appreciation of it. Wrong training, false loyalties to one's own language will lead to the development of discord, imbalance, and linguistic prejudice. Multiplicity of languages should not be taken to promote disunity, to destroy the national cohesion, to cause disintegration, or to lead to the linguistic insanity. The people in India must be educated to develop the capacity of the clear thinking and felicitous expressions in the national link language should be promoted by the joint deliberation of the educationist, administrative statesmen, and policymakers. Private and public energy must be channelized to achieve desire of establishing a national link language that gain all India currency for all times to come. Education can do much to popularize Hindi as link language. Development of Hindi as a national link language also helps to foster international integration without determinant of the interest to the interest of the regional language and English. Though all this may require a long period, it was passionately wait for the smooth transition. Programs undertaken to develop Hindi as the link language. A three-language formula has been developed in the educational field to acquaint people with the national link language from childhood. In many non-Hindi speaking states, Hindi is being taught as a second language up to the second level of education. The government officials of non-Hindi speaking areas are expected to pass a minimum stipulated examination in Hindi as an incentive. Their increment are linked to it after appointment or promotion to certain cadres. Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachara Sabha was done pioneering work to popularize Hindi in South India. The government of India has instituted a large number of scholarship for the study of the Hindi by the people of non-Hindi speaking areas. A three-language form adopted by the railway, post and telegraphs department also will help popularization of the Hindi. Devangiri was developed as the common script of the Hindi. The places of the English in the national language policy. English is one of the richest and most beautiful language in the world. We should value it from both cultural and political reason as a medium of intercourse in the international sphere. It is language of widespread international currency. It is the language of the science and literature of the world. In India, it is widely known among the educated classes. This language brought about political awakening in the nations and also helped our culture renaissance. It has produced many Indian scholars, poets, politicians, statesmen, and scientists. We should take care to maintain the high standard of the English in our country. India has a great and significant contribution to make to the thought and the culture of the world. So she will do so both through her own language and through English, said Dr. K.G. Sayadin. It has been a special relationship with the people and other language of the India, as such not an alien language. But still there is a conflict between the continuance of the English as an administrative language between the North and South. People in the North argue that only a small percent of the people know English and hence cannot be a common language of India. They intend to replace English by Hindi, for which South Indians are not willing. Through the English language, we can keep contact with any part of the world. It will be a great loss if we give up this language. Therefore, it is wise to continue the English as the associate official language of the country till the people in the South also concur emotionally with the decision of making Hindi as the sole official language of India. Let's repeat. English is the place of English in the national language policy. English is one of the richest and most beautiful language in the world. We should value it from both cultural and political reasons as a medium of intercourse in the international sphere. It is a language of the widest international currency. It is the language of science and literature of the world. In India, it is widely known among the educated classes. This language brought about the political awakening in the nations and also helped our cultural renaissance. It has produced many Indian scholars, poets, politicians, statesmen, and scientists. We should take care that to maintain the highest standard of the English in our country. India has a great significant contribution to make to the thought and the culture of the world. She will do so both through her own language and through English. He said, Dr. K.G. Sayadini, he has a special relationship with the people and other languages of the India as such, not an alien language. But still, there is a conflict about the continuance of the English as an administrative language between the North and the South. People in the North argue that only a small percent of the people know the English language, hence cannot be the common language of India. They intend to replace English by Hindi, for which the South Indians are not willing. Through the English language, we can keep contact with any part of the world. It will be a great loss if we give up this language. Therefore, it is wise to continue the English as the associate official language of the country till people in South also concur emotionally with the decision of the making Hindi as as a sole official language of India. The problem of medium of instructions. So the problem of medium of instruction at all levels of education, learning through own mother tongue is the best, as it is quite natural for the child to think through its native language. It becomes is a very thought through mother tongue to understand to react to what other says. This make learning economical as it eliminates the loss of the time and the money. When taught through an Indian language other than their own mother tongue or a foreign language like English, then attain proficiency in that language becomes imperative to understand the curriculum content taught in the class. This twin burden of mastering the content and getting proficiency in the language or the medium of instruction, which is alien to them, make people's tired mentally. Consequently, they resort to shortcuts like seeking the help of the cheap notes and guides available in the market and mug them blindly instead of gaining a real knowledge through the use of the standard textbooks. This hampers the ability in people to think critically and assimilate the content learned. That is why all education advocate that children's are to be taught through their mother tongue only, and therefore all facilities should be provided to the linguistic minorities in a region to learn through their mother tongue, at least at the primary and secondary level of education. In college and universities, it is better to adopt a common federal language as a medium of instruction to facilitate intellectual intercourse and natural exchange of ideas among the educated or otherwise educated people in different states may get isolated and start functioning as if they are in the different islands. In India, a lack of link language, the absence of the national system of education, foreign rules of centuries, multilingual nature of the nations are all responsible for the non-development of common medium of instruction for the entire country. Till all the people in our country unanimously accept Hindi as a link language, it is better to communicate English as the common federal language. Still better arrangements in the provision for the student to choose either the Hindi or the English as a medium of instruction for their study at higher educations. Now let us consider the claims of other languages as a medium of instruction. Now, let us consider the claim of other languages as the media of instruction. The regional languages have claims to be the instruction media in their respective states. If two or three languages predominantly spoken by majority of state, they will be considered the regional language of the state. Then all of them will have claims for being instructional media. The state government have to provide for instructions in these media according to the needs and demands. If the mother tongue of the children happens to be other than the regional language, they have to learn the regional language also. This enables the students to compete with others in the matter of government jobs. So let's jump into advantages of learning through the mother tongue. Learning through mother tongue, particularly up to the secondary second stage, minimizes the student's burden, saves the cost and time, but eliminate the wastage and stagnation to a greater extent. Students could easily master what they learn, as there is no language barrier to comprehend the content learned. The critical thinking in students get increased. The need for the student seeking the help for cheap notes and guides available in the bazaar is eliminated. If students are taught through a language other than the mother tongue, things are simply cramped and reproduced as they do not have a perfect command over a foreign medium. Student could feel the joy and satisfaction resulting from learning through their mother tongue, as it is the language of the heart and the emotional bonds are attached to it. Medium of instruction in India, the present position. Northern Indian states, Hindi is the medium of instruction for the school education. In most of the college and universities too, the students learn through Hindi medium only. Learn through English is very rare. In southern states of India, students learn through respective regional language till the secondary education level. English is the medium of the instruction in all the colleges and the universities. In some discipline of the study, regional language is also used as a medium of instruction. Summarizing all the observation, it could be concluded that there is no common medium of instruction for the entire country, and the language problem continues to haunt us even today. It is hotly debated whether the English or the regional language should be the medium of instruction. No one could deny the advantage of learning through one's own mother tongue, but it will create a situation in which there will be islands of educated intelligentsia in the country which have practically no mutual rapport among themselves. Those who argue that English is the best suit for medium of instruction at higher education are significantly larger in number of population. They plead that the standard of higher education could be maintained only by continuing English as a medium of instruction, facilitating the rapport with educational experts abroad, especially in today's changed condition of globalization in almost every walk of life. Widening the scope of education and employment, this explains the mushroom growth of English schools in every nook and corner of our country, adapting English as an instructional medium right from the pre-primary schools. But these schools serves mostly for the elites and urbanites in the country, and the common man is left in the lurch to attend the state schools where the regional language is a medium of instruction. While the students coming out of English medium school prefer to continue their higher education only through English, those who studied it through regional languages find it is difficult to cope up with the demands of the higher education as well as in the cherished goals of either pursuing the research or getting employed in multinational organizations. Thus, the confusion in the medium of instruction in educational institutions continue to prevail, thus affecting the achievement of our students, particularly those hailing from middle class families. A critical analysis of our national language policy. Indian national policies on an official language. Indian government has accepted the three language formula as its national policy and study of languages. According to the three language formula, every student is required to study his or her mother tongue, Hindi or English, and an additional Indian or European language. Medium of instructions on the mother tongue in whichever language a child learn the lesson in the class thus form the medium of instruction for the child. The advantages of learning through the mother tongue have been more often emphasized by educationalists, psychologists, and linguistic experts all over the world. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, former president of India, and Dr. A. Lakshmi Swami Mudaliar, former Vice Chancellor of Madras University and the Chairman of the Secondary Education Commission, to have welcomed the children learning through their mother tongue. Learning through the mother tongue helps quick coordinated development in children. It promotes meaningful learning and avoids cramming by peoples. Industrially developed nations like Japan and Russia have been providing education with mother tongue as a medium of instruction till the university stage. Therefore, it is a welcome step in including the mother tongue in the three language formula. National integration and Hindi. There are many states in India in which the different regional languages are spoken. There is no single language in our country which is common to all people to communicate among themselves. But among the Indian languages, Hindi is spoken by 38% of the population. Hence, to strengthen the federal setup in India, promote effective communications among the people of different states, and develop the national and emotional integration, it is quite necessary to make Hindi as a link language of the Union. That is why a primary place is assigned to Hindi in the three language formula. Science and technology development and English serve as a mirror to reflect the latest advances made in science and technology all over the world, and is a window for international communication and global business. Today, English is a fast developing as the international language for the science and information technology and is spoken by about 750 million people across the world. Scientists and scientific and technological advances made in the Western countries are mostly reported in English journals. Therefore, eliminating English language from our land is akin to closing the windows to review the world. Most of the conferences and seminars in science and technology held in different venues across the world are conducted in English. 80% of the research journals are in English. In this situation, to it is unwise to be little English in our country. Hence, English is also given an important place in the three language formula. Views of three great Indian thinkers on the medium of instruction. Views of Rabindranath Tagore, Mahatma Gandhi, and Swami Vivekananda in the medium of instruction in education are presented below. First, we'll start with the views of Rabindranath Tagore. All lessons should be based on creativity. All should study history at higher stages of education. Science should be the given importance. At the primary stage of education, it is better to have the mother tongue as a medium of instruction, practicing manual labor. The other subject of the study recommended by Tagore are language, literature, geography, natural science, music, and fine arts. Tagore very much wished that rich learning activities like dance, drama, drawing, painting, handicraft, and gardening should find an important place in the school curriculum. It is essential that students, individuals, special talents to be identified, nurtured in the natural and unhindered environment. Trying to provide the same kind of education to all is harmful. Well, the Tagore insisted upon providing primary education in the mother tongue. He stressed that arrangements should be made for the high school and higher education students to learn the languages of their choice. Tagore, who wanted everyone to develop international outlook and preserve international brotherhood, made arrangements in his Shantiniketan and Vishwa Bharati University to teach the Western language like English, French, and German, as well as the Oriental language like Hindi, Bengali Chinese, etc. In fact, in Vishwa Bharati University, Tagore created a separate wing called China Bhavan and made necessary arrangement there to provide higher education in Chinese language, religion, and philosophy. Similarly, he creates a Hindi Bhavan to encourage activities to develop Hindi language and literature. Views of Gandhiji was against the inclusion of English in school curriculum. He emphasized the learning of Indian language and, in particular, providing education through mother tongue. In Gandhiji basic education, craft was included as an important component. He suggests that craft should not be provided just like any other subject of the study, but it should be medium to correlate all the subject of the study. Thus, correlating craft with all subjects will pave the way for the learning. By doing, Gandhiji is of the view that there is no use in rote learning and information unrelated to life. The salient features of the Gandhiji basic education, the salient features are free and compulsory education for all boys and girls between the age 7 and 14, education through chosen craft. Craft is not learned as a subject along with other subject of study. All the subjects are to be taught through the chosen craft using the correlation approach. This integrate all the knowledge and encourage self-activity rather than the rote memory. Productivity of educational process, self-supporting aspect of the education. Teachers and students stay together and lead a simple cooperative community life. Mother tongue of the child is a medium of instruction, emphasis on the religious and moral training. Views of Swami Vivekananda did not spell out any particular curriculum. However, he advocated that the curriculum should be framed in such a way as to help developing both knowledge and occasional skills. He is of the view that subjects like regional language, Sanskrit, English, history, geography, economics could be included in the curriculum in order to make it broad based. The subject included in the curriculum should be based on developing the overall personality of the students. Vivekananda emphasized giving importance to both vocational education and technical education in school curriculum. According to Vivekananda, along with oriental subjects like Vedanta, religion, and philosophy, etc. Western subjects like science, engineering, and technology should be included in the curriculum. Every school campus should be a place of vocational training, having the workshop, agriculture farms, and the industrial units in it. He was in favor of providing primary education through mother tongue, though he considered as the essential to provide textbooks and other instructional material that too in the regional languages. He had a favorable attitude for having English as a language subject and using the English as a medium of instructions. The comparison of the views of Gandhiji, Vivekananda, and the Tagore on the medium of instruction, Gandhiji was firm in his views that the education at the school level should be provided only through the mother tongue and regional language. He was totally against including English in the school curriculum. He preferred activity-based teaching over the verbal method of teaching. He supported providing education through a chosen craft. Gandhiji favored to have mother tongue of students as a medium of instruction rather than the regional language. On the other hand, as Vivekananda gave importance to the inclusion of science, industrial training, technical education, etc., in the school curriculum, he was favorable to have English as a language subject as well as using it as a medium of instruction. Rabindranath Tagore also, like Gandhiji, stressed that medium of instruction, the primary education level, should be the mother tongue. However, as he gave much emphasis for developing creativity in students, universal brotherhood, and more freedom to the students, he took the stand that in higher secondary education, the higher education, students should have the freedom to choose and study Western languages like English, French, and German, and Oriental languages like Sanskrit, Hindi, and Chinese. Stated briefly, while Gandhiji supported the learning of the mother tongue and Hindi, both Vivekananda and Tagore were in the favor of the students learning other languages along with mother tongue. So, in conclusion, in this unit, The language policy followed in India at the various periods before and after the independence. Changes made in the language policy in India after the independence. Language policy Indian constitution problems faced in implementing the national language policy and the three language formula, two language policy followed in Tamil Nadu, and the problems of linking the language, place of English in national language policy, problem regarding medium of instruction, present portion of the medium of instruction in India through thoughts of three great Indian thinkers, Abhinav Tagore, Gandhi, and Swami Vivekananda. The medium of instructions were discussed in detail. Thank you.